are you babies doing? I am doing good. I miss you babes so much. I'm so happy to see more of my vintage dolls joining my channel. Thank you so much. If you don't know who I am, my name is Savi Monroe. I make vintage tutorials about hair, makeup, clothes, hauls, vintage stuff for pinups, black pinups, Latina pinups, Afro-Latina pinups of color. That is what I do on this channel, and I'm so glad to be sharing my love of vintage with you dolls. So if you dolls are on my channel, please like and subscribe, and please turn on the notification bell so you dolls can get updates on more of my videos. So yes, I am so happy dolls to show you about my great grandmother's, well, I call her my great glam mother. She is great glam. My great glam mother's vintage makeup from her estate. Dolls, when I was told she left that for me, I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. And I'm so excited to show you dolls. So I cannot wait to show you dolls. So if you dolls want to see this video, please keep watching. Alright dolls, now I want to go through decades. Now this is from the 1930s. My great glam, she used to have all these makeups from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and some 70s. So I wanted to make sure I was by decade and accurate by everything. So this is her powder. She had this powder dolls for a very long time. This was back in the 1930s. So I'm starting with the 30s makeup. I like to make sure I go by decade because I just like to be organized like that. Max Factor Hollywood powder in olive number 3. Now my grandmother, she was very, very fair complexion. She had very, very light skin, so she had to mix up her foundations and stuff, and they didn't really have those type of makeups back in the day that we have now. We have the option like Fenty Beauty and all these other options, and back in those times they didn't have it. So dolls, it's very, very cool to see this. This is one of her rogues. She used to wear this. I looked at some of her old black and white pictures, and these is one of the makeups she would have. Do you see how this looks? It's rogue, and let me make sure this focuses. And this is a rogue makeup, and this is a lipstick back in the day. So trying to see if I can get this puppy open, but yeah, that's how it looked. This is how it looked. And mind you dolls, I disinfected all this, so just know it's all been disinfected. So this is another rogue she had. This is a little baby one to that. I think it was so adorable. Dolls, when she left this in her estate for me, I cried so hard because it's like having her still here with me, and it just feels good, Here's another one she had. Now back in the 1930s, everything was like more metal, more tin or cardboard. Those was like the main things or packagings they would use. This is all in Max Factor when she used to dance at the Cotton and do in some of her cabaret shows she would do when she was a dancer in the 30s. She used to wear this stuff. This is Max Factor 2. Now this is mascara dolls. When I seen how it looked, I was like, oh my god, this is their mascara back in the day. So with my mascara and with her mascara, it looks like two different mascaras. Now this dolls is a jar of her old Hollywood foundation. This was a jar. She said back in those times they didn't really have how we had it, where we can just squeeze it or we can just dip it. They had to literally use their fingers and put it on their face. Or if they do have a brush, it wasn't like the brushes that we have now. So I just want to, let this focus. But it is foundation by Max Factor. It's called the Invisible Makeup. Now, when I did my research on this, all this is from the 30s. I'm very accurate where all this stuff comes from, what decade. This is from the 30s. This is by Max Factor Enriched Hormone Cream. My grandmother said she had a scar on her face, so she used some of this cream. It still has a little thing right here. And one thing I love about her is she keeps everything. She didn't throw anything away. Now this is one of her face powders she used to use, and it's an olive number 2. I noticed with this one too is very heavy. It still has product in it. And dolls, in some of her old pictures with her vanity, some of her own pictures with her vanity, she used to always have this on her vanity. So it's very nice to see this still. This is one of her face powders right here. And this is her lipstick tube. Now, dolls, this is so heavy. Like, these all like metal and tin lipstick tubes. And this is like her, now I think this is Rogue, so I'm assuming this is like blush. I'm assuming this is like blush when they say Rogue. Now, dolls, if I'm wrong, let me know. But this is her lipsticks. This is all by Max Factor. My grandmother, she wore a lot of Max Factor. I didn't realize how much Max Factor she had in her makeup collection, but she has a lot. So now we are going to go next into the 1940s. Alright, dolls, now we're getting to the 40s. Now this is by Rallo. This is an old powder she used to have. I did some background work on it. This is the Delightfully Scented with Rallo perfume and pastel. So this has still got a lot of product in that. This is one of her mirrors, dolls. This is by Max Factor. She still has, I love this, still has the compact in it. Once again, this has all been cleaned off and stuff. So all this stuff she, you know, she had in her, you know, in boxes and storage for many, many years. A lot of this stuff was in storage. This is, now I don't know exactly who this from, but I did look at the little poof in it, and it says Zelf Rich or Rec something on it. Dolls, I'm gonna tell y'all, I tried to do so much research on this one. I could not find anything on this one. I do know these two are from Max Factor. Now, one key thing I want to tell you, dolls, when I start getting into the plastics, it's going into the 1950s. So I noticed that when I did a lot of my research. What I love about these little lipstick holders is like the little lipstick they come with. This is very old classic Hollywood, and when my grandmother used to dance and stuff, because she used to be a dancer and a performer, so she used to have, you know, all her little makeup on her vanity. And I used to, when I got older and stuff, when I was a little girl, I used to watch her put on her makeup and stuff. So yeah, she inspires me so much, y'all. She's the reason why I have this channel. So this is from the 1940s. Now on to the 1950s. Alright, dolls, now we're getting to the 50s. Now this is like my favorite compact. When I seen this, I was like, I started to cry. Because one thing I want to tell you, dolls, she used to always call me her doll face or baby doll. So I don't know why when I seen this, I busted out crying really, really hard. Like really bad. I had to really just calm down and gather myself. But when I seen this, I cried because she knows how much, she knows how much I love her. And, when she left me this is like a sign to me that says, hey, baby, I'm here. I'm still here, So when I seen Doll Face, I cried, y'all. But this is by Max Factor. I love this cream puff. I used to see this little commercial on TV all the time when I was younger. And my grandma had this on her vanity. Even when I was older, I would see this still. So she had this. It's by Max Factor. And this is from the 50s, dolls. You can tell by the designs, the starburst. They had all this stuff in the 50s. So this is from the 50s. And you can see in the back it says cream puff, truly fair, because she's very light. And this is her the same one. And this is another one too. Now you can tell this one was used a lot because it's turned a different color. But this is all from the 50s, dolls. Now we're going to get to the 60s and 70s. Alright, dolls, now this is the 60s and the 70s. I thought I'd just mix the two. Now you can tell the packaging is more plastic now. This is all by Angel Face. This is by, now this is called the Zodiac palette. I don't know exactly who this is by, but this is called Helen Rubinstein. So that's the name that's coming off from this one. This is a vintage old Avon refiller powder pack she used to have. You can tell how old it is and how it looks. This is all Angel Face. Now this is all from like right here is from the 60s. This is from the 60s. These are from the 70s. These are from the 70s. These is from the 60s. This is from the 70s. And she had this for a very long time. I used to see her with this a lot. And this is a lipstick holder. So she used to have this a lot with her back in the 70s. And this is from the 60s. Late 60s to early 70s. And this is from the 60s. And this is all just powders. And I could still smell the fragrance on these powders, and my grandmother, she smelled just like these powders, dolls. So yes, that is it. These are her makeup, and dolls, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what else you dolls would love to see. I do have another vintage haul coming up, and I can't wait for you dolls to see it. So I will be so happy to show you dolls, and I'm so glad you dolls have been and have checked out my video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you dolls again soon. Bye, loves.